So welcome everybody. So today is a intuitive class. So I'm asking you to be intuitive as well. So I will obviously prescribe postures for you, but I want you to intuit them with your own body. So we're going to feel inwards, bit of self-care, listening to how we're feeling, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. A lot of changes going on at the moment. So it's good to learn to tune in rather than jump to the conclusion that perhaps you're ill or there's something the matter with you. Okay. So we're going to start by just sitting comfortably, however that is for you. And we're going to use Hridaya Mudra, so to tune into the energetic heart space. So bring the thumbs to the base of the index fingers to the base of the thumbs, that fleshy part, so curl them in as far as you can. And then bring the next two fingers to the thumb tip. And then you've just got the little finger sticking out. So Hridaya, Hridra is the heart. So just let your eyes close. Be aware of the breath. Notice how it predominates in the chest area when you hold this mudra. And as you breathe in, I want you to mentally say to yourself, how is this body feeling today? And just take some time to scan through the body from the head, down through the ears, the jaw, the neck, through the arms, through the torso, the visceral organs, the lungs, the heart itself, down into the pelvis, through the legs, the knees, shins, calf muscles, ankles, to the tips of the toes. Just take your time. Be aware of the internal sounds that come from the body. Can you tune inwards to the internal sounds? The sound of the heart beating, the blood pulsing through the veins. Just observing if you have any energy sensations in the body, maybe a little bit of heaviness around the solar plexus, perhaps at the heart space. Just noticing. I'm just going to read you the Yukti Verse 15 from the Radiance Sutras, which is about this practice. Bathe deeply in the ocean of sound, vibrating within you, now as always resonating softly, permeating the space of the heart. The ear that is tuned by rapt listening learns to hear the song of creation. First like a handbell, then subtler like a flute, subtler still as a stringed instrument, and eventually as the buzz of a bee. Entering this currents of sound, the listening one forgets the external world and becomes absorbed into internal sound, and then absorbed in vastness, like the song of the stars as they shine. So our body, just like everything else in the universe, is a vibrating mass. It's not solid. And the majority of our body is space. So feel that connection to a sense of space, a vastness within you. Good. Now, keeping the hands in the mudra for now, we're just going to add in some very subtle movement. So as you exhale, let the head turn to the right. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, let it turn the other way. And as you're observing, notice how the neck is today. Place your attention at Vishuddhi chakra, so the throat, as you move the head from side to side. And observe the internal dialogue towards yourself. So we're working with self-care, not just physically, but our emotional self-care, how we speak to ourselves. And as you move the head from side to side mentally, say to yourself with the breath, may I be well. May I be kind. Good, now let's drop the chin, start a circular motion. And again, notice how the movement of the body changes and how it feels. Notice the jaw. May I be well. May I be kind. Lovely, let's change directions. Notice the tension that you hold around the neck. Perhaps that's because of responsibility that you have towards others. Maybe you're a carer. And just for this moment in time, let all that responsibility go. And just feel into your own needs. Self-compassion. Being gentle. Let's release the mudra. Bring the hands together, interlacing them. So the fingers are an expression of our heart space. So let's start to warm up the hands. I want you to try and work with the eyes closed until we get to more movement. Notice the hands, the expression of our heart. Notice the wrists, maybe they get clogged up. Change directions. Just really feeling those internal energy currents of the physical vehicle, not just within the structure of the physical body, but also the emotional body and the mental body. Lovely. Now as you exhale, push the hands away. So you're really stretching and opening the hands. We have huge chakras in the hands. That's why it's really important to wash our hands well, not just from a physical point of view, from an energetic point of view. If you've been around people who perhaps their energy is a little bit dense, maybe you work with other people a lot, then it's important to clear the palms of the hands quite regularly. Sweep the arms all the way up. Lovely, release and shake. Maybe shake the rest of the body a bit. So just do a little bit of whatever. Get the movement into the elbows. Good, now bring the hands to the shoulders. Let's connect into the heart space again. Take a big breath in, draw a circle. Have a sigh out. Observing any heaviness to the heart and also the solar plexus. So these three chakras, the solar plexus, the heart space, and the throat, are very interconnected. I mean, everything is in the universe, nothing is separate, but there's quite a deep connection between the energy at the solar plexus, the heart space, and the throat. So releasing any of that tension that you hold in the solar plexus with which is very emotional. And try to observe inwards rather than outwards. Change directions. Be aware of the back of the heart space. Lovely. Now keep the hands on the shoulders. Inhale left, exhale right. Let's build up the speed to suit you. So speed in the sense of the physical body, in the sense of the emotional and the mental body. Just constantly observing inwards. Noticing the inner dialogue that's going on. Maybe it's a bit different today, this class. I'm not sure if I like it. You know, all that sort of stuff that goes on. Just try to move from a place of acceptance that this is where we are right now, and this is where we're meant to be right now. Back to center. Take a deep breath in. Sweep the arms up. Let them come down through the midline. Bring the hands to the knees and let's start to circle. So dropping your attention down now into the lower back, noticing any tenderness in the sacrum. So our sacrum is deeply connected to our emotions from when we're a lot younger. And our lower back can get really tender. So just observe the experience of the lower back on all levels, not just physical, but emotional. Notice whether you tend to automatically rush physical movements, almost like an avoidance of stillness. See if you can slow it down. And with it, slow the breath down. So there is more focus inwards, which can be quite painful sometimes to be still. We can spend a lot of time kind of keeping ourselves busy, so we can avoid thinking about how we feel. Just notice how the body presents to you. Change directions. And feel this sense of holding yourself, really caring for yourself. As if you were a small child, holding the things that the way in which you maybe always have wanted to be parented, perhaps weren't. And that's not to say that there's any fault, but just holding yourself in the care that's right for you. Lovely. Let's take the legs out, if they're not already out. And just give them a little bit of a wobble. So the legs are directly connected to the root chakra, also a connection into the pelvis. So this sense of being safe, we don't always feel safe. And some of those safety things stay with us from childhood. So again, really feeling in to the body. Pull the toes forwards and back. Good, circle them. Lovely, interlace the fingers. So we're going to activate the 3 chakras, root, second, third, interlace. Notice which way you've interlaced, close the eyes. Start off with a slow movement, so it's slow and small. The circle's close in towards the torso. So we move into the hips before we move into the hamstrings. Again, really notice, feel inwards, observe what presents in the sit bones, the hamstrings, the muscles of the belly. Maybe there's something presenting in the heart space. Just noticing. And then slowly start to extend that movement outwards if it feels right for you. And I want you to use a phrase if it feels comfortable for you to use so. So it's only a suggestion. Is as you breathe in, because we're working on these really low chakras, which are sustained when we're very young and cared for. I want you to say to yourself, I am enough. And feel the sense of reaching outwards so that you're expanding yourself. That actually you are a very impressive being. And reach as far as you can. Really reaching out so you feel as if you're almost boundaryless. We're only limited by our imagination. Lovely, come back in, relace up the fingers, so to speak, so they're the other way. Again, start off slowly into the core, feeling the power at the center of the belly. And then try another internal dialogue with yourself, perhaps. So I'm asking you to say these things to yourself to see what the response is. So the next little phrase is, I am powerful. See how that sits in the body. And start to feel that power actually activating by your own imagination. Really reach out with the hands. Lovely, back to center. Okay, so let's come round into cat. So sometimes in life we get stuck, and that's when we suffer, when we choose not to flow with what happens. So I want you to just feel the breath flowing through the body and kind of try to apply that in everyday life. So when things happen, rather than resist them, kind of just go with it. Inhaling, exhaling. Because when we resist, we create a lot of tension in the body and the mind. Scanning the whole of the body, front and back, noticing how it responds to the simple movement. Good, extend the right leg back. Exhale, bring it through. Good, keep the leg extended, push through the heel. Scoop the tailbone towards the heel, pull the tummy muscles in, and extend the arm, reach. That sense of how we're always having to try and find balance in life. And how certain life events can push us off balance, but when we move from center, we don't often go far from there. We can come back into alignment. Let the hand lower, releasing the leg. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, through. Good, extend the leg back, push through the heel, scoop the tailbone, pull the tummy muscles in, extend the right arm. Let the breath be nice and smooth. Lovely, releasing. Take the hands further forwards and knees just a little bit further back so they're not quite underneath the hips. Bringing your attention back into the heart space, breathing in. As you exhale, lower the chest, turn the head to the left. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, head turns the other way as you lower the chest. Keep going. Try to work with the eyes closed if you can, feeling inwards. Notice the restriction at the front of the chest, near the arms. Lovely, and release. Let's step forwards with the right leg. Hands either side. Working into the hamstrings. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, stretching back. Notice how the right hamstring feels. Inhaling and exhaling. Notice if the jaw's tight. There's a direct correlation between the pelvis and the jaw, so soften the jaw. Lovely. And bring the torso up. Notice whether your back wants you to do a shorter lunge, which is much more of a square shape here, or actually that it's okay here. Suit the arms up. As you exhale, squeeze the elbows. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just sort of get a wave-like motion going, so you come down and out and up. So moving any stagnant energy out of the heart space through the shoulders, elbows, and hands. Good, and release, step back. Step forwards with the left leg. Start with the release of the hamstring, inhaling, exhaling. Notice it might be very different one side to the other. Notice whether you have a tendency to force the body rather than actually just listening carefully to how it's reacting to the change of shape. So the body's very intelligent. So really listen to it. Lovely, come up into a lunge that suits you. Inhaling, exhale down and out. Inhale. And release. Let's sit back now into down dog. Heel out the feet. Relax the head. Really let go of the weight of the neck. Gently stretches it. Maybe draw a little circle with the head. Imagine there's a pencil on it and you're drawing a circle on the mat. Slowly walk the feet towards the hands and hold Uttanasana. Soften the knees. So remember, if you've got tight hamstrings, you don't need to work with the legs straight, just work with what feels right for you. Bend the knees as much as you need to in order to get the hands to the floor. Inhale, lift the gaze just to the horizon. Slight pause there with the breath in. Exhale, lower. Slight pause with the breath out. All the way up, breathing in. Again, just a slight pause, so you just slow things down. Exhale. Slight pause. To the horizon, pause. All the way up. And if you feel comfortable, do it with the eyes closed. Just observing how the movements change the feeling inside the physical vehicle. Notice how when you listen to the body, that it starts to really do its own thing. So often when you're in a yoga class, there'll be an instruction continually with the breath, so everybody's moving in the same way. But that doesn't mean to say that that's the right rhythm for everybody. So in class today, everyone's now moving at a totally different speed, because I'm just asking you to be intuitive rather being dictated to. Lovely. Inhale, let's come all the way up now. Push the palms to the ceiling. Gentle stretch. And again, just move from side to side in your own time. As if it feels too much for the back to have the hands raised, try them at the top of the head, try them at the shoulders. This one's quite nice because you get a better movement into the ribs. Notice how the visceral organs respond to this sideways movement, so everything inside below the diaphragm. Lovely, come back to center. So use your mats on the width of the mats, so just turn them so that it's easier to follow me. Take the feet nice and wide. Bring the hands to the hips. Soften the knees to start with, and then listen to the response of the back and the hamstrings. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold forwards, that sense of letting go. Inhale to come up, slight back bend. Exhale, fold forwards. Good, make this the last one. We're going to hold, bring the hands down. Use a brick if you need to. If you need a little bit more support, have a brick or a couple of books, whatever you've got handy. Take your attention deep into the body. Notice where the resistance is, perhaps the calf muscles, maybe it's the back or the hips. Allowing your attention to follow deep into that resistance, and let the breath release it. And then let's start to move from side to side. In your own time, with your own breath rhythm. Keep the eyes closed if you feel comfortable. Use the brick for more height if you need to be higher to do the movement. Just really observing. So if you're at home, you might find that actually you're in front of a bed and you want to use the bed to support the hands, or maybe the sideboard or a chair, whatever works for you. Just moving, clearing the stagnant energy out of the legs, the energy of fear. See if you can go deeper into the experience that is the legs. Good. Now I want you to turn to the right. Take a brick with you. We'll start with a high lunge. So if you like using bricks, I really like using bricks. I don't need to, but I like using them because it gives me a deeper access. We're going to inhale, straighten that front leg. Maybe take the toes off the floor. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Just let the eyes close. Feel that sense of sinking almost back into childhood, down into those first 3 chakras, and a sense of letting go of anything, any programs that you might have from then that really no longer serve you, giving your inner self permission to let go of them. So sometimes when we're younger, we have behavioral patterns that help us survive when we're younger. But as we get older, we still have the patterns, but they're not very useful. So it's good to say to your inner younger self, it's okay, thank you, but you can let go of that now. Good. Now straighten the front leg, hop the back leg in. And we're going to use the right hand on the brick. So we're going to draw a big bow. So obviously we're working on the hamstring, but we're also working on this energy around the heart space. So imagine it's a really strong, huge crossbow. Inhale, pull it up. Squeeze the heart space, exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale. Good, now can we squeeze and hold? Relax the jaw, close the eyes. Notice what's happening in the neck. Do you need to let the gaze turn towards the big toe? Can you extend the arm up, or does that feel too much for the heart space? Really push into the lower hand, and then imagine that you're almost the arms and the mid spine near the heart space is the bow itself. See how far you can actually stretch it. Take that upper arm further back. Can you take it in line with the ear? How does that feel for the rest of the body? Can you feel that in the front hip? So when I do that, I feel it here around the front of the pelvis. Lovely, releasing. Let's come round into wide leg forward fold again. Soften the knees. Gently move from side to side. Be aware of the movement of energy coming out through the left side of the body after that side stretch. Really feel the subtle effects of posture. It's not just muscular. Can you feel the rivers of energy inside the body, shifting and changing? Good, let's go to the left. Take your bricks if you want to use them. Push out with the back leg as far as you can. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, sink. So again, really feeling deep into the legs and the pelvis as you sink. And some level of conscious awareness of your patterns of behavior that perhaps don't really suit you anymore. They don't serve you as an adult. Good, last one. Good, now hopping the back foot in, just to where you need it to be. Keep the hand on the brick on the left side, and then pull the crossbow. Inhale, pull it all the way up, keep the elbow bent to start with. Exhale. Inhale. Notice what's happening in the neck. Is it better for you to change the direction of the gaze? Goodness, squeeze and hold, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Start to visualize your arms as the bow. Extend the top arm. How far can you bend the bow? How far can you open the heart space? Can you bring the arm overhead? Does your body prefer the other movement? Does it prefer the hand on the hip? Just notice. Good, releasing, come back into the front. Notice the movement of energy through the right side, particularly through the ribs and the shoulder. Swing from side to side. Good, inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms above the head. Exhale down through the midline. Lovely, pick up the left heel, swing it out. Pivot the right toes, bend the knee. Extend the arms out. Bring them into chin mudra, so the thumb and index finger together, which instantly asks the mind to connect inwards. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend. Does it feel like actually you could go deeper? Do you want to extend the stretch? Does it feel too deep? So notice. Good, let's hold. Lift the toes, feel the power being pulled up into the body through the earth. Drop the backhand, raise the top arm. Breathe into the ribs, keep the front knee bent. Do you actually want to drop the hand behind the head? Does that feel more comfortable? Does it help you get deeper into the heart space? Work it out. How does it feel? Good, now let's open the heart on the other side. Right elbow down, extend the left arm. Feel it opening the side channels of the body. So think deep, feel deeply into the body. So not just into the physicality, but the energy of the body. Good, sweep back to center. Back into wide leg forward fold. Notice that maybe you've gone quite a bit wider. Good, inhale to come up. Sweep the arms above the head again. Down through the midline. Pick up the right heel, swing it out. Pivot on the left heel, toes go forward, bend the front knee, hands into chin mudra. Inhaling. Again, notice, does it feel really easy and that maybe you're not nudging the boundaries? So we're not trying to damage our hamstrings, but we are trying to nudge our boundaries. Sometimes we always stay within a safe parameter. So we never change, or we find change difficult and challenging. Good, hold. Lift the toes. Pull that energy up from the earth, raise the top arm. Play around with where you hold the arm, what feels right for your body. Good, let's open the other side. Lovely, releasing, come back round into wide leg forward fold. Good, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Step back to center. Down through the midline. Come to the front of the mat. So whatever your front is, whichever way your mat is, doesn't really matter. Hands to the heart space. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward, soften the knees. Let's feel the breath. Hands to the shins. Inhale, lift the gaze. Be aware of the pause. Exhale, lower. And again, feel the rise and fall of the breath as it travels through the body. Last one. Step back on the right leg. Inhale, lift the gaze. Good, as you exhale, drop the knee and take the toes back. So small, focused movements. Inhale, sweep the arm up. Exhale, step back into down dog. Inhale, drop the knees, lift the gaze. Exhale, push back into swan. Inhale, sweep through. Maybe it's more of a dipping cat if the back's tender. Exhale, push back. Maybe you want to raise the right leg as you breathe in. Step through on the exhale. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. Hands to the shins. Inhale, just lift the gaze, be aware of the pause. Exhale, letting go. Two more. Good. Next time you exhale, step back on the left leg. Take a breath in, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, drop the knee, take the toes back. Inhale, sweeping up. Nice big breath in, reaching for the sky. Exhale, step back into down dog. Inhale, into cat. Exhale, push back. Inhale, sweep it through. Exhale, down dog. So maybe you want to raise the left leg here as you inhale, maybe you don't. See how the body feels. Yeah, use the exhale to step it through. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale down through the heart space. Separate the feet slightly, come into a squat. Just let the eyes close, bring the hands together. Lovely. Now very carefully find your way to the floor, however that is for you. Pop layers on if you need to. And we're just going to work with alternate nostril, very simply, before we lay down to scan the body again. So let's, before we actually go into the pranayama, actually notice the body. So notice the sit bones. Do they feel even? Can you trace the line of the spine all the way up? Does it feel like it's nicely stacked, like some gold coins on top of each other? Relax your shoulders. Check that the head's not being thrown back and the chin's not dropping too far down. And the fact that the chin is kind of parallel, horizontal with the floor. And then bring the left hand into chin mudra, so thumb and index finger together, and then bring the right hand towards the face and let the elbow come quite close into the body so you're not creating tension in the shoulder. Breathe into both nostrils. Block the right nostril with the thumb and breathe out of the left side. So I want you to count your own breath into the left side, whatever that count is. It might be fast, it might be slow. And once the breath is fully in, block the left and breathe for the same count out of the right side. Breathe into the right. And down the left. Just really observing the simple count. You might find the next time you breathe in, you consciously slowing it down. So whatever the inhale, the exhale is the same. But really be sensitive to the movement of air from side to side. Notice whether you feel as if you're kind of somewhere else and you're not really concentrating. So the breath is just becoming quite fast. Slow it down. Slow it down as much as you can. Finish the breath that you're on, making sure that the exhale is on the left. And then bring the hands back into Hidreya Mudra. So we're creating a circle almost from where we started. Thumb into the index into the thumb, and then the middle two fingers to the tip of the thumb, little finger sticks out. I want you to rescan the body. Scan it physically, scan it emotionally, scan it mentally, observing what's there. Just observing it, don't become involved in it as a story. Just observe it. And then keeping this internal dialogue with yourself and keeping the hands in the mudra if possible, I want you to roll down and just rest the hands perhaps on the body with the hands in the mudra. Or if it just feels too uncomfortable, release the mudra completely. Entirely up to you. And breathe deep, deep into the space that is you. We are mainly space. Can you use the breath to feel into the space? Can you feel the space inside the big toe? Can you feel the space in all the other toes? Can you feel the space between the toes? The space in the sole of the foot, the tiny bones of the feet, the muscles, the sinews. Be aware of the space inside the ankle, the space inside the lower leg and the knee, the space of the thigh and the hip, the vast cavernous space of the pelvis. Just hold your attention in the pelvis. Feel the energy of the pelvis, the ebb and flow that moves with the breath. Take your attention up into the torso itself, awareness of the liver on the right side. How does the liver feel? Be aware of the spleen and the pancreas on the left side. How do they feel today? Be aware of the stomach, just slightly to the left, underneath the left rib. What about the intestines, the large intestine as it runs up the right side of the body, turns into the transverse, and then the descending? How do the intestines feel? The small intestine. Just really observing this body vehicle that carries you around. How do the kidneys feel on the back of the body, further nearer the spine, either side? What about the lungs? Do they feel free? Can you fill them with courage? Can you fill the heart with joy? Be aware of the throat, the jaw, the sense organs of the skin, the ears, taste inside the mouth, the tongue, smell at the nose, sight at the eyes. Just observing and bathe deeply in that ocean of sound, vibrating within you, now as always, resonating softly, permeating the space of the heart. The ear that is tuned by rapt listening learns to hear the song of creation, first like a bell, then subtler like a flute, subtler still as a stringed instrument, and eventually the buzz of a bee. Entering this current of sound, the listening one forgets the external world and becomes absorbed into internal sound, and then absorbed in vastness, like the song of the stars as they shine. Feel a sense of boundarylessness beyond the body, that vast connection to everything that exists. And take your attention now deep into the heart space. And I want you to visualize, imagine a tiny point of light, and know this light to be your true self that is experiencing the vehicle of the body. And know this true self to be unconditional love, joy, compassion. Place both hands on this light. Bring the hands to the heart space as if you're holding this amazing being of light in the love that it deserves. And know it to be your true self. Take a deeper breath in now, feeling that sense of being back in this body vehicle. Notice where it contacts the floor. Be aware of the breath as it moves in and out of this body to animate it. Its life force. Just really coming back into the physical experience. And when you're ready, and only if you're ready, take a deeper breath in and sweep the arms overhead. Maybe exhaling with a big sigh, opening the mouth. And then if you're ready, and only if you're ready, bend the knees, roll to one side, come back up to sitting, or stay on the floor if you choose. Bring the hands back to the light at the heart. And as you inhale, say to yourself, may I be well. And as you exhale, may I be kind. And namaste.
Namaste.